Hello, my fellow creatives. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving in my neck of the woods, so I thought I'd do a video prior to Thanksgiving and, around the Thanksgiving/holiday season to inspire you guys to remember that you're still alive if you're watching this video, and you still probably have a lot of things to be thankful for. And that's cliche and annoying, everybody says it, but really finding things that make you happy, that are unique to you, are going to boost you on a daily basis. It's not about trying to shame yourself about what you have that other people don't have, because that doesn't work inside your mind. You're going to be feeling bad instead of feeling good. The idea is to feel good about what you have going on, and then goodness will exist. It's in your perspective to have a good life no matter what happens, and you can also help create more good things to happen with your good intentions. So even though life happens and things happen, you can still keep a good attitude, and gratitude is one of those attitude things. Wow, that was nerdy. Okay, this is like the 5th time I've recorded, and I haven't liked anything I've done yet today, so forgive me if I'm a little spazzy. I guess I'm just in a weird mood, and I don't like the way I'm talking today or something. But I'm going to give you guys some advice based on what I love, what I'm good at, and what I think the world needs most, and see how we do with this combination right here. What I love: psychology and human behavior. I still want to get a degree in psychology and maybe be a counselor, because right now I'm a coach. It's a little different, but what I love. Wait, no, that was what I love. What I'm good at: self-discipline and self-motivation. Sometimes. What I think the world needs most: open-mindedness and compassion. They don't exactly go together, but I put them on the same card because I guess they were close to the same thing in my mind. All right. How can I help you guys be more open-minded and have more compassion with my skill of self-discipline and self-motivation and my love of psychology and human behavior? Ooh. Okay. Now for the quick advice. Intuitive advice, pronto. Open-mindedness, compassion. So, yeah, one of my values in life has been to keep an open mind, not only for myself, but I hope that other people, and this kind of goes along with understanding other people and understanding myself and blah, blah, blah. But I hope that people can be open-minded about themselves, what they learn, the people around them, the other cultures, basically anything and everything, because I feel like that gives you more compassion toward other people when you understand yourself better and you have an open mind to learn more about yourself, the world, and other people. Therefore, you will have more compassion toward other people because you kept an open mind about the fact that you're always growing and you're always learning. If you don't believe that that's true, unfortunately, that's maybe I'm the wrong person to be watching right now. But yeah, if you can keep an open mind, it doesn't mean... So I think a lot of people are afraid to have an open mind because that means they could be easily influenced or changed, and maybe people fear change, or maybe, you don't want to be associated with a certain type of person that hurt you in the past, and you associate everyone else who has similar traits or lifestyles with that one person that hurt you a long time ago, and you therefore don't want anything to do with that because it just reminds you of pain or whatever. So you then lump together all these people in one category when they may not have anything to do with that whatsoever. You just assume because of what they were wearing, how they looked in any way, maybe one thing they said or did, and now their whole life is wrapped up in this label that you gave them because you were hurt by one person in the past that maybe reminded you of that. So or whatever. That was a little backwards. But I think that's where people get closed-minded. They have fear regarding change, or the idea of being too open might mean that there is something threatening that could happen to them because they didn't protect themselves. So that's where the open-mindedness and fears can kind of clash. So open-mindedness, compassion, self-discipline, self-motivation, psychology, human behavior. Well, I'm explaining the psychology and the human behavior part. Yeah, I do feel like a lot of people, it's easy for us to, this isn't about judging people, but I'm going there right now. So it's easy for people to judge other people based on appearances only. And unfortunately, my whole life has bothered me a whole lot. I only feel like I can judge people if I have gotten to know them a little. They've kind of given me a reason that they don't like me or accept me for how I am or who I am, or they challenge me in a way. And then I don't feel, a challenge isn't always bad, but I feel like I do best when people kind of keep an open conversation going where there's, I don't even like to talk about religion or politics anyway, because I feel like there's no middle ground. There's always just left or right, or, good or bad, or black and white. There's no gray, there's no mix. It's just one or the other, and you have no other option. And I just don't believe that's true for anything. So that can be interesting, talking to certain people when you're trying to keep an open mind about them, about the world, and sometimes you just don't mesh with people. I always wanted to mesh with people no matter what, but it just doesn't always happen that way. So keeping an open mind about the fact that everybody's on their own journey, everybody's on their own timeline. You will never arrive to a destination point that is completely perfect or ideal necessarily, but yeah, you might get where you were hoping to go in life with your goals and your own idea of what life should be. You can accomplish many things, of course. I feel like a lot of people are just crippled by fear and certain expectations that didn't go a certain way, and then they didn't open their mind to new ideas or suggestions, or, so being stuck in, oh, I never did this thing with this person, or I didn't have the looks to be an actress or the body for a dancer, because I'm going to use that as an example since that's what I dealt with insecurities about, or whatever. I didn't have the skills compared to all these other people to be a writer or anything, okay? Fill in the blank. And, people are easily influenced by people they look up to. So if your parents or grandparents or whoever talked down to you at any point in time during your developing years, you could easily have a bit of a complex regarding your talents and skills and natural gifts and personality type, even who you really wanted to express as who you were in the world is not always easily accepted by others, depending on where you grew up and how you grew up, how you were raised. And that is a shame. So I'm trying to help people to get out of their shell, to embrace their unique individual talents and everything about themselves, so that way they can be a light in the world to other people and not have resentment and regret, because that is no fun, first of all, and it doesn't get you anywhere that you wanted to go in life. And it really is never too late to do the things that you wanted to do. Maybe it just looks a little different than what you originally had planned to do with it. For me, I can't go the rest of my life not dancing. I apparently have this autoimmune disorder thing called Sjogren's. I don't even know. Like, I knew I had some kind of autoimmune thing because my intuition told me. I didn't know what it was called, but now I'm trying to heal it. And I am planning to go back to my favorite dance class in January on Wednesdays with Elisa Terry, and all my dancing friends who are way younger than me, but that's okay. And I'm gonna try to make it work, but my legs only go to 90 degrees right now without pain, and this pulling in my ligaments and my connective tissue, because I have a connective tissue issue. That was cute. But anyway, I can't go the rest of my life without dancing. And maybe if I teach and coach, I'm not moving my own body as much. I can use students for demonstrating. That might be what I have to do, but I still am gonna dance because that's how my soul comes alive and expresses itself and hopefully helps heal other people. And that's why I dance. I like to bring music to life. I like to express music in such a way that opens up new channels of thought, like really big, deep stuff. So anyway, that's kind of how I like to keep an open mind about people, about even like our differences, I really like to analyze it like, okay, this person thinks this way and I think this way. Why is there a difference? Are we actually looking at things in the same way, but through a little bit different lens or a filter because we've had different experiences, and perhaps maybe we actually have similar values, but we are going about them in a different way. And that's kind of the conclusion that I've come up with about people and their differences in opinion. It's all based on your own experiences, and all those combinations of experiences can create a negative or positive reflection in your own mind. And then that's easy to really put out there a certain way to other people because you're passionate about it. And that can be good or bad. Open-mindedness, compassion. I think that's good for now. I feel like I'm missing something. How can I help you guys have open-mindedness? Be more open-minded, have more compassion. Okay, because it's the holiday season and this just came to my mind. The homeless epidemic. So for my whole life, growing up in church and as a good old nice girl, I always thought, oh, poor homeless people, some people really are homeless. Like, some people really had issues and they got homeless for reasons that they were out of their control. Maybe it's just a temporary thing, but they'll get back on their feet. That kind of attitude because they had the willpower to not make that be their lifestyle or what they were going to end up as. But there's a lot of homeless people who choose that lifestyle. And I found that out later in life. Really, I thought before, oh, all poor homeless people, they're homeless. Like, they're different than me. I'm not homeless. They are homeless. Like, that's their destiny or something. And that's not true. They're people that had their own lives before that happened, maybe. Maybe they grew up homeless. I don't know. But a lot of people chose that lifestyle, or they had things happen. They chose another thing like drugs or alcohol that took over their life, and usually that's because of pain, something that happened to them. And then all of a sudden they are addicted to something, a substance, and the homeless lifestyle is the way to keep that going, the addiction, and because all your money goes to that kind of stuff, and then you don't have money and you neglect all these other things in your life because you're addicted to that one thing. So a lot of homeless people either chose the lifestyle or ended up that way because of choices that really consumed them in the end. And that does not mean that there's no way out of it. They have to want to get out of it. But my point is, as a kid, I thought they're just different people than me. Of course, they're different people. Everyone's different. But they were like a certain group that I could help, that they'd be able, I could help them. And yeah, some of those people you can help and they want to be helped, but some of them do not want to be helped. And I'm only using that as an example because that's what came into my head. Please don't be offended. I'm not attacking homeless people, or I don't think I'm better than them or anything like that. They're people just like me. And anyway, I guess I'm going on the compassion and open-mindedness thing again. So the being compassionate toward other people, that can be good. It can help them, but they also have to want to help themselves. And if you give too much, okay, let me use this example. I know I don't finish my sentences, but in Portland, when I lived there and I was a pedestrian everywhere, back to work and back home, didn't really drive ever. There would be a homeless person on almost every corner asking for money. And then there'd be like the people, the political, sign my petition or whatever it was on every corner. It was a common thing. And this was in 2010, somewhere around there, in the mid 2000s. And I gave people food. I gave people money. Most of the time, if I gave them my food, they were like they didn't want the food. They weren't hungry. They wanted the money so that they could get whatever they wanted to get with it, obviously. But I worked hard for my money. So once I felt there was too much carelessness, like me giving, and then they didn't, want what I was giving them, they didn't show appreciation, it made me think I'm not really in a place to be giving my money away. I'm not really that wealthy, but at the same time, I felt the need to help people. So therefore, I was trying to help. But once I got just maybe 5 too many people that weren't showing a lot of gratitude, or they actually needed what they were asking for, I kind of lost my compassion toward that group of people. And then the more I learned about drug addiction and alcoholism and how that just consumes people's lives, it does not mean that you shouldn't have compassion and an open mind about people with those addictions. But just to give yourself away to these people thinking that what your compassion and your good heart is going to change them, it might not. So that's not really a good Thanksgiving message maybe, but it's just what came to my mind. All right. I am going to leave that. This is getting to be a long video, at least for my videos. I hope that you guys found a little nugget of wisdom in there somewhere. And just remember that you are watching a video right now on the internet, through a phone, through a computer. Technology is pretty awesome, and we have the ability to connect this way, and that became a little bit more pushed in the early pandemic times, the lockdowns and everything. So we have this luxury to be able to express ourselves, me expressing myself this way, sharing my thoughts and what I'm learning with you guys, and you guys can choose to run with it or not. That's fine, that's up to you. I'm just here to help bring out the inner magic you have always had, but forgot about. Until next time, happy Thanksgiving. Talk to you guys soon.